How you doing this evening, gentlemen?
Listen up, wrestling fans.
That's right, listen up, because this week there is a ton to talk about. So much to talk about. What a week it's been. My name is Tommy Stryker. This is Strong Honor, where we talk about Ring of Honor and, most importantly, this week, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
We had Power Struggle over the weekend, so we got to talk about that. But first, let me introduce my co-hosts joining me this week. Taco is back here.
What up?
Joe is here as well.
What's up?
Now, Taco, you did get to see most of Power Struggle, and Joe, you are a very casual New Japan guy because you pretty much only follow it when you come over to my house and I show you some stuff.
Yeah, unless something important comes on, and then I find ways to get it.
But that's okay. That's what this show is for. It is for people that aren't necessarily following it tooth and nail, but maybe new fans of it, and people that are
There'll be a lot new fans now.
Exactly. So yeah, people that are looking to get into it, that's what this show is for, because there are way more people that go way back in the history of New Japan that are way more qualified to talk about that. We are all pretty new fans here. I've only been following for a couple, 3 years myself. So
come geek out with us.
Exactly. So big weekend from Power Struggle. The biggest news, probably Chris Jericho going to challenge Kenny Omega for the IWGP United States Championship.
Wait, what?
At the Tokyo Dome. Yeah, it's going to be it's gonna
weird. I heard about this.
So what are your guys' thoughts? I'm especially interested we were talking before the show. You're already saying we got to have a Wrestle Kingdom party on Thursday, January 4th. Who's having the party? Where are we watching this thing? Because you're obviously excited.
Well, and I'm
for
very
this.
interested. And let's not even for the fact of Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, because, that was awesome news. That's big. I need to watch it with that.
Sure.
But, we had Naito and Okada for the heavyweight title, and I've just been digging on Naito this entire year. That's worth it alone, and I'm sure there's tons of other matches I'm not even listing off that I can't think of, but it's the WrestleMania, of New Japan. It's their big show of the year. I need to see this.
Yeah, and we'll go over it a little bit later as we kind of go through Power Struggle here too, but we've got at least 6 matches announced so far for Wrestle Kingdom. So yeah, we'll get into it. Taco, what did you think of Chris Jericho being announced or challenging Kenny Omega for Wrestle Kingdom?
This, to me, absolutely proves why Chris Jericho is GOAT. You're going to have your haters online for shit. Fuck you guys, all right? To me, Chris Jericho doing this is just, it's not a him move. It's a move for New Japan and a move for the wrestling fans. And it's so, beautiful to see something like this, because it's just it was such a surprise, and it was just so pleasant to fucking see, especially with Switchblade, being rumored for such a long time. And then we get Jericho. It's wait. That's not Switchblade. This is it was just even a fucking Fozzy playing in the promo too. It was I did click in my head at first. I was I know this tune.
As soon as that damn song,
it didn't pop in my head.
As soon as that song hit, I'm oh god. Plus, I think I got spoiled on it too going into it. So, but as soon as Judas came on, I'm okay, yeah.
It's just it shows you his love for the wrestling business as a whole. And it's just, he knows that, he could tell that New Japan's at a point right now where, I don't want to say they need big names in them, but a name like Chris Jericho is just going to help them even get bigger in America right now.
Definitely.
And it's such the right move for not just him, but, New Japan. And it's just it proves that Jericho's the best. He's the greatest of all time. And it's shit like this that I love. He puts everyone over. Fucking CM Punk had it's one of Punk's best feuds, I thought, was with Jericho. Just I love Jericho's a man.
And, he had the feud with AJ Styles when AJ Styles came in.
And AJ even admitted that he was the one. Jericho was the reason to help him get to that used to that WWE style too.
Sure. Didn't Finn Balor do something with him when he first came up, or no? No, that was because he came up and went for the Universal title right away. So I guess Finn Balor maybe didn't have his Y2J mark there. But
we were talking about it a little bit before the show, but just the fact of it's a little bit for himself when you think about it, because it's going to be the semi-main event. It may not be like the last match on the card, but it's going to be a semi-main event that I'm sure Jericho's wrestled in Japan, and I know that, but like to semi-main event at Wrestle Kingdom.
And that's not for sure yet, but it's arguable because obviously Okada and Naito definitely going to main event. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, your IC title match is Switchblade, a.k.a. Jay White, versus Tanahashi for the IC title. So I could see putting Jericho and Kenny Omega as the semi-main here. But you could definitely, I mean, your purists are going to want the IC as the semi-main. Mm-hmm. But I guess we'll see. You know, New Japan, you know, they tend to go more the purist way. And
I'm sure Jericho gives two shits actually about that, but
right.
But again, it's just that big of a show.
I'm sure they're gonna get that United States title on the line too, and with how much hype they're putting, trying to get behind this championship right now. What better way than kind of co-main event with that?
Can't we have an American challenge for the title?
We'll get there. Michael Elgin spends an awful lot of time in the United States now. I believe he might. I don't know if he's technically a citizen yet, but I think he's basically based out of. I can't think of it now. St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he runs Glory.
Not expecting that.
He runs Glory Pro out of there. So I guess Michael Elgin has that win over Kenny Omega in the G1 Climax. Mm-hmm. So at some point, Elgin's got to get his title shot. I just don't know when.
Yeah.
I'm thinking new beginning, sometime after Wrestle Kingdom, because I don't expect Chris Jericho to win the IWGP US title, but you never know. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like Jericho is under contract to WWE right now. And
could you just imagine him strutting around New Japan with that fucking title?
There's a bit, I just said I don't think there's a chance, but now I'm working myself into it, just thinking about it, and with him not being under contract, and obviously this, I shouldn't say obviously, but with Chris Jericho being gone from WWE now, he's got that Chris Jericho cruise next year in October, and that was, he originally wanted to do that with NXT, and when that didn't work out and WWE didn't get back to him, and he basically got the runaround from WWE, that's why he ended up going to Ring of Honor to have those guys do that cruise.
Well, it sounds like Jericho's putting all his money into this cruise to make it happen. So.
Well, sure, and it's going to be insane too, because with the Ring of Honor guys, this Twitter war that's been going on between Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, I love that they've been doing that building up to this damn thing, and nobody in their right mind was saying, oh yeah, Chris Jericho's going to be at the Tokyo Dome. Nobody was. There was
people rumbled. Maybe this will happen on the cruise.
Right. People were thinking maybe this is all for the cruise later on. There was some speculation that thinking Jericho might show up and challenge, but it wasn't. It was like kind of far-fetched. It wasn't like, oh yeah, Chris Jericho's definitely going to show up at Power Struggle and challenge Kenny Omega. I mean, that just sounded obnoxious. And then it actually happened.
Countdown even.
Right. So yeah, a lot of fun. Let's get into everything that happened at Power Struggle. An eventful, newsworthy show. The undercard kind of was the undercard, but it was very easily consumable. The undercard was like it didn't drag on. It was an easy show to watch. Power Struggle was in its entirety. But so yeah, we'll get into it here. Opening pre-show matchup: Katsuya Kitamura, the big jacked up young lion, took on David Finlay. Joe, you kind of had a proclamation about David Finlay. You just realized he's as young as his.
No, that was me.
That was you, Tom.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, I'm just kind of.
Do we just look the same to you? Is that what it is, Tommy?
We talked during the pre-show, and I forget who says stuff, and it just kind of gets all garbled together in my head.
You guys say the same bullshit.
Well, because it's usually when we're watching a match, I'm going over notes, we're looking at Twitter, people are saying things. It could have been Taco, it could have been some guy on Twitter.
Yeah, no, I brought it up because I've dogged on the guy pretty hard on the podcast. I feel like just like I said, he doesn't really do much for me. But no, like they said, he was 24, I believe they said he was, and I was like, shit, he's still just a youngin. I kind of had him pegged like 28-30 range, so I was way off on there. So yeah, he's still gonna blossom, bloom. So good luck.
He's got
good
a
luck,
way to
guy. I'm sorry. Public apology.
Yeah, so he's got a ways to go, but So he had this pre-show opening match here with Kitamura. Some people speculating, is this going to be Kitamura's big first win versus a non-young lion? It was not. David Finlay won with a stunner after a few minutes, about a 6-minute match or so. But then after the real story here is after the match, David Finlay kind of, first of all, Kitamura's like overselling. He's playing dead basically after taking the stunner finish from this 6-minute match. But Finlay stands him up, shows him the respect, raises his hands up, and walks to the back with him on the ramp. They do the big bow at the top of the ramp. And then it was announced after Power Struggle, we had the big announcement for the World Tag League brackets. These two are going to be teaming up in that tournament. So
Nice.
I want to go over the whole World Tag League A and B block announcements here on the show here at some point too. But I thought it was interesting because Tomoyuki Oka, the other young lion, and Kitamura have been teaming up lately, and that was a rumored tag team for that tournament. But they team him up with Finlay here, so I think that's a good.
Good for both of them.
Yeah. It'll give them some more experience. It'll give them a chance to actually possibly get some wins here with David Finlay not being an actual young lion, but maybe they're trying to humble Kitamura a little bit and give him some more losses.
Odd pairings and make fun tag teams, so maybe we get something out of this.
We'll get into it, but yeah, there are some fun, interesting tag team matchups for the World Tag League. Opener for Power Struggle, the actual opening of the show, the Young Bucks versus Dragon Lee and Titan. This was pretty much everything you would expect it to be, a big-time spot fest, but they didn't give it a ton of time. But yeah, they got all their stuff in pretty much, but definitely designed to be a welcome home for the Young Bucks, if you will. The Young Bucks are playing it cocky though too. Like, yeah, we got the Brock Lesnar schedule. We're just coming in and doing the big shows now because they obviously got to skip the Super Junior Tag Tournament that was culminating here on this show. So they'd been away from New Japan for about a month or so. So them playing cocky. Talking about the Brock Lesnar schedule, beating Dragon Lee and Titan with their new finisher, the cease and desist. It's a sharpshooter crossface combo with both of them. One of them having the sharpshooter, the other one locking in the crossface. And they hit that after the Indie Taker. Like I said, nonstop action, fun stuff. A nice reintroduction from the Young Bucks. Then a fun, quick 10-man tag: Juice Robinson, Jushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask, Kushida, and the Young Lion Hirai Kawato versus the Suzuki Gun Juniors and Zack Sabre Jr. So Zack Sabre Jr., Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Taichi, El Desperado, and Taka Michinoku. Kushida goes over here with the hoverboard lock rather quickly here in another really fast match, which was kind of nice for a 10-man tag.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he gets the hoverboard lock after Juice wakes Kawato the fuck up, and Juice goes up to Kawato and says, "Wake the fuck up!" And Kawato hits this huge jumping dive. It's fun. All these matches that Kawato's in these big multi-man tags, Kawato kind of ends up being the focal point of, and he's over with the crowd, and he has a great connection with them and a great fire when he fires up and stuff, and just hits these awesome moves and stuff. So. Fun to see more from Kawato here, and hitting a big flip dive after Juice just goes over. Wake the fuck up! Just firing him up. That was a lot of fun. And then Kushida getting a nice win here in the match too, kind of rebuilding him up a little bit. Then we had the filler match, as I called it on the preview, and it definitely felt like it on this show. Togi Makabe, Tenzan, and Kojima teaming up against Cody, Yujiro Takahashi, and Chase Owens.
You best believe I kind of skipped this one.
You can skip it. It was completely skippable. It was filler. I don't know if it was meant to be something for Cody or whatever, but Kojima got the win over Chase Owens. So I guess it was a match to have Cody on in New Japan. They flew him in for a 6-man. I guess.
Hey, if he's getting paid.
Hey, man, more power to him, I guess. Then we had the finals from the Super Junior Tag Tournament. Roppongi 3K versus Super 69, Taguchi, and ACH. Roppongi 3K got the win, run the table of the tournament. A fun match. I gave it 3 stars here. the member of Roppongi 3K, who's been getting into these awful chop battles, getting his chest just beaten to meat.
Yeah.
He had his chest actually taped up in this match, like where it's been beaten in the same spot over and over.
That's how his skin bubbled up.
And so he had that part of his chest taped up so that he wouldn't suffer too much more damage. But he did get into some more chop battles in this match.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Hey, he's getting paid.
They got the heat on ACH during the match. Hot tag to Taguchi. Taguchi hits the Dodon, and then ACH hits a big 450 splash for a big near fall in the match. But it was a Roppongi 3K hitting the 3K after the lung blower and the shotgun drop kick. The 3K, the jumping assisted flapjack for their finisher. So yeah,
I like flapjacks.
Then after the
Delicious.
match, the Young Bucks come out and challenge them for Wrestle Kingdom. So that's going to be your Wrestle Kingdom IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Title matchup.
That'll be a fun one.
Yep, Roppongi 3K and the Young Bucks. So, and we've kind of seen a little bit of previews of those on Ring of Honor a little bit. So yeah, they've got some good chemistry and they've worked together a little bit in the past. And yeah, this is going to be an insane Young Bucks style match. And with all the multi-man tags that we've seen the Young Bucks in lately, and the kind of short teaser match at the beginning of Power Struggle, it'll be nice to see them in a standard 2-on-2 tag match for the titles.
Well
at
rested
the
up
Kingdom.
too.
Yep. So and there'll be some definite road to Wrestle Kingdom shows that they'll be on with facing off with these with Roppongi 3K on the way to the Kingdom to Wrestle Kingdom itself.
The Kingdom.
So, yeah. Then we had another 10-man featuring Chaos versus Los Ingobernables de Japón. Another hot start here from Tomohiro Ishii and Evil, just really getting into it at the beginning of the match. Naito slams Okada 2 times on the ramp, eliciting lots of boos from the crowd. Yeah, the crowd really getting into Naito as a heel here.
It was a pretty hot crowd for a New Japan crowd.
Yeah, it was. But it was surprising because Osaka it tends to be a hot crowd, but I thought it was interesting that they were into booing Naito acting as a heel against Okada. I just thought that was interesting, but it almost felt like the crowd playing along too, like, oh, Naito, you're being a dirty heel.
Stop
doing those things to Okada on the ramp and what? Stop spitting at
You
Okada.
know better. Don't fuck up our Wrestle Kingdom.
Exactly. So it was fun stuff. A great finishing sequence in the match. We got what happened is Okada hits the Tombstone pile driver on Naito in the match, but then hits the Rainmaker on Bushi and got the win for Chaos there.
Bushi.
So, but interesting that he does hit the Tombstone pile driver on Naito in that match. So. Then we had the big announcement, more big news here that we haven't touched on yet. March 25th, 2018, New Japan coming back to the United States, coming back to Long Beach. Really interesting. Going to the Walter Pyramid, a slightly bigger venue this time, about 5,000 people that this one holds. So
awesome.
not quite going for the big 10,000 seat arena here, but it's really interesting here because they're going back to Long Beach about 2 weeks before WrestleMania here. So instead of kind of going to WrestleMania weekend to New Orleans and booking a bigger venue there, they decide to go back to Long Beach a couple weeks before WrestleMania, which is gonna.
It might be booked over there already, though.
That's the thing is, it's gonna. Some people that are traveling to WrestleMania obviously are not going to be able to travel to this Long Beach show. I mean, there's going to be some conflict there, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of attendance they get here if they're able to actually sell it out. I think they'll be able to sell it out.
Oh yeah, I think they'll sell it out
because there's definitely the New Japan fans that are more interested in going to New Japan.
If Jericho shows up, United States champion in Long Beach.
There you go. That's definitely a possibility.
Well, I think it's smarter to don't ride the heels of WWE. You're your own product. I like that they're sticking away from that WrestleMania weekend this year, let alone a couple weeks before. WrestleMania even happens, they're going to be like, well, here's our product right before WrestleMania, and you're going to sit there and compare the two right there.
I think it's interesting. I think if they would have gone to New Orleans WrestleMania weekend, I think they could sell out a much bigger arena. With all of those wrestling fans there, with people curious about New Japan who haven't seen it, all the New Japan fans that will naturally already be there, not only for WrestleMania, but all the indie stuff that's around there, including Ring of Honor, including your Evolves and your, everything else that Wrestle
We got to
Circus.
look at their spot, too. Everything WrestleMania weekend-wise, that's going to jack up all the rent for all those buildings in that area because it's WrestleMania weekend, and they're going to have to fly that entire roster of New Japan basically overseas and then pay for that rent. So I don't know. It almost makes more sense to capitalize on the California, that side of the United States, and get the other group of people. But if it's only like a week or 2 weeks apart, keep them in America. You got Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is going to be on the East Coast doing
and
some
that's
stuff.
The other thing too is that
there's your way in to kind of save budget wise and get more exposure.
Well, and this all this being said, this does not mean that your New Japan stars won't have a presence WrestleMania weekend, because Ring of Honor is there. So, I mean, they can come 2 weeks before WrestleMania, stay here, do a tour, do some indies, and then wrestle for Ring of Honor WrestleMania weekend. I mean, I'm pretty sure Kenny Omega's already been announced for WrestleMania weekend for Ring of Honor. So
Makes
there's
sense
that.
more would come.
So, yeah, obviously you're...
Fuck, I just almost want to buy like tickets just maybe. Just, God, you never know. It's awesome.
Yeah,
cheaper than WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, so really exciting news there with them coming back to Long Beach. I did want to mention too. I haven't seen much, but I'm surprised I haven't seen more ire from some East Coast fans. I think a lot of people were speculating that New Japan should, and they will eventually, but should venture and do something on the East Coast because obviously a lot of Ring of Honor fans out that way, and New Japan fans, of course, the ECW contingent being out that way.
Well, and who says they don't hit them up before the end of next year? They're starting a little earlier. Maybe they're already working on something for the East Coast for end of summer, going into fall season, whatever it may be.
I'm sure. I obviously we don't know anything yet, but I'm sure New Japan is planning on more shows in the United States next year. So.
That weekend you had in Chicago, I almost hope that blossoms into something big. 'Cause that was just so awesome because basically it was a New Japan show, just stamped Ring of Honor, and then you had AAW going on too. Right. There, it's just you pretty much had the whole indie scene in Chicago that weekend.
And there's another weekend like that coming up in Chicago in February. Naito is going to go to Michael Elgin's promotion. We were just talking about that, Glory Pro, just outside of St. Louis. Then he's going to go to AAW in Chicago and have a match there. Yeah. And he's doing some other indies around there. So it's going to be another crazy weekend of wrestling with Naito in the country in February. So you're right. They should do something like that where they do a Chicago in conjunction with AAW does a show. Ring of Honor could do a show. You could have a whole weekend of it.
Right, each other's backs. It's going to benefit both your, make an indie WrestleMania weekend or something.
And they could certainly,
in a sense.
They don't necessarily have to do that in Chicago. You could do it on the West Coast in conjunction with Ring of Honor and PWG. You could do it on the East Coast with just Ring of Honor and maybe Evolve gets involved. They do a lot of stuff out there, and New Japan as well. So there's lots of possibilities, and obviously they don't even have to be associated with each other. Like AAW has nothing to do with Ring of Honor. They just said, Ring of Honor is going to have this show on a Sunday. Well, we'll book a 2-day tournament, that same weekend, and capitalize on those fans that are coming into town for that show, which was really smart because I bought the tickets for Ring of Honor, and the first thing I did was go to AAW's website to see if they had a show that weekend, and they hadn't yet. But then, a couple of weeks later, boom, the Jim Lynam Memorial 2-day tournament, Friday and Saturday. I'm like, boom, in, but where do I buy tickets?
Yeah, you told me about that. I was like, God, that's almost the icing on the cake for me. Fuck.
So yeah, I'm very tempted to see what else plays out around this Naito tour.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we're already planning. My wife and I, our big 10-year wedding anniversary is Memorial Weekend. So we're planning a big. Thank you, Singh Brothers. But we're planning a big trip to the East Coast. But now I'm already thinking about, I want to take another trip to Chicago, and I'm already spending my vacation time before the year even gets here.
My vacation resets about February 8th.
Yeah, mine reset a week ago.
So who knows? Maybe there's a Chicago trip for the podcast sometime in the future.
We'll talk.
We didn't even mention, obviously, with Naito making this tour to the United States early next year, post Wrestle Kingdom. The speculation, of course, is that he will be the current reigning, defending IWGP Heavyweight Champion as well.
Oh.
So how cool would that be?
So him walking with that title.
Yeah, insanity. So
I almost want to throw money down on that one.
I know, right? Back to Power Struggle. Post intermission stuff. Minoru Suzuki defending the never openweight title in a bull rope match versus Toru Yano.
I forgot it was a bull rope.
It wasn't a Texas bull rope match because there wasn't a bell in the middle.
There was no bell, and they didn't do the traditional touch all four corners gimmick. It was pinfall
Just
or submission.
Yep.
It was a match with a rope, basically. At the beginning of the match, Yano tries to avoid being
so funny.
tied up in the rope. He gets he just avoids it, but then Suzuki gets him in a fucking hold and helps the referee get the strap around his wrist. And I like the added element of not only are they strapped in, but they tape them in as well, both guys. So
I just love the fact that it was Suzuki holding his fucking arm up like, you're stuck to me. Like,
right. And so, yeah, the entire match is then just Suzuki pretty much beating the shit out of Toru Yano. He gets some spots in here and there. Yeah, he manages to get the turnbuckle pad off.
All the commentary crew is just so fucking funny for this match, too. They felt bad for Yano.
Well, how about that video package, too, with like the cartoons and whatnot, the illustrations of Suzuki and Yano?
I missed that.
Oh, yeah, that was a really cool thing too. It was cartoonish but effective on explaining. Okay, this is Yano, the goofball, and he's been stealing the never open weight title, and he's been managing to get away from this scary monster that is Suzuki, and now they're going to be tied together. There's no way to escape, and it's time to pay the piper. And that's what it was. It was the Suzuki, and it was all the Suzuki Gun guys getting involved, and I'm sitting there watching this, and the Suzuki Gun guys are running amok, beating the shit out of Yano. It's funny because they're trying to distract the referee and do all this stuff when it's pretty much unnecessary because it's a bull rope death match. There's no rules. Anything goes. So finally, the more Chaos members come to poor Yano's aid. Goto comes out there and runs some Suzuki Gun guys out of there, but it doesn't matter. Iizuka comes out again
Isn't Makabe in Chaos? Because isn't he on that fucking outside doing commentary like the entire time? Like,
technically, no. Makabe's on his own.
Is this on? Okay, because I was thinking he was on. Like, I was like, man, if this motherfucker is part of Chaos and his fucking boy's getting his ass whooped, and
Makabe is part of the. He's like a great bash heel guy that at one point was a bigger faction, and I think now it's just him and Hanma. And Hanma's been out injured most of the year. So no, he's not. Yeah, but you're right. He was on commentary, just observing. But it was Goto finally, also of Chaos, who came down and got rid of the other guys. But then Iizuka comes out with the Iron Claw. Taichi pulls the referee out, and they throw him into the railing. Another referee has to come out and get involved. But yeah, Suzuki wins the thing with the Gotch pile driver with the rope around his neck, and he's going into Wrestle Kingdom as the never openweight champion. Right. And he is the only singles champion announced that is participating in this year's World Tag League.
That's right.
Which is interesting because typically in years past, New Japan has thrown in all the singles champions into random tag teams, and so it was blatantly obvious. Like, they're not going to have the IWGP champion win the tag league and go on to face whoever the tag champs are at Wrestle Kingdom. Obviously they're not winning the tournament. And
double duty champ.
Right, so I like that the only singles champ in this thing is Suzuki, and since he doesn't have a singles match at Wrestle Kingdom at this point, it's conceivable that him and his partner could go on and win the tag league, even though it's obviously probably not likely at this point.
It's believable that he would defend the never open weight belt and then go win some tag belts too.
It's a slight possibility, although I'm going to say I'm going to say it's pretty unlikely. All right, then we had one of the better matches of the show. Will Ospreay defending the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title versus Marty Scurll. Originally, right after watching this, I only gave this 3.5 stars. I want to go back and watch this again because in retrospect, just sitting here and kind of talking about it earlier, I want to say it's closer to 4 stars.
I totally gave it 4 stars, and I really wish I had easy access to go back and watch their Ring of Honor TV title match that they had just to kind of compare the two. But I don't know, to me, this match was just so fluid and spot on, and just the in-ring story they were telling, and knowing each other's trap setups and everything. It was just it was just so brilliant from start to finish. I was lured in the whole match.
Yeah, I gotta say it's at least a 4. I was being I don't know what I was thinking with 3.5, but anyway, basically the theme of the match and the theme of the feud is there are 3 things that are for sure in this life: death, taxes, and Marty Scurll beats Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
he's beat him in Rev Pro. He's beat him in What Culture. He's beat him in Ring of Honor for that. As soon as Will Ospreay wins the TV title, Will Scurll turns around and beats him for it the next day. And same thing here. Ospreay finally defeats Kushida, who he has not been able to defeat. Then his first title defense against Marty Scurll. Scurll comes out and beats him for it. But it wasn't without a little bit of controversy because basically Ospreay's going into his finishing sequence. He hits the shooting star who on Scurll, who's draped over the top rope. Then he hits the Robinson special spinning kick. Then he goes for the Os cutter off the rope. But then he counters it into the crossface chicken wing. But then Ospreay rolls out of it, but then Scurll catches him in a roll-up, and there's a little bit of air, just a little bit of space between Ospreay's shoulder and the mat, but the ref counts the 3. He's out of position, doesn't see that, but just a little bit, just a tiny little bit.
It's official, it's on the record books.
But exactly, Scurll gets the win, wins the title. Ospreay is livid, he's getting in the referee's face, he's grabbing him, and then after the match, here comes Kushida. He gets in the ring, and he starts swearing in English. He says, "I want my title shot, motherfucker." And then Hiromu comes out, but Hiromu's been smartened up now because he's made so many challenges and not been able to get his challenges in. So he comes out.
It's knocked out right away.
He puts a hockey mask on so nobody can punch him in the face. He puts on these big mitts so nobody can break his fingers. He puts on a cod piece so nobody can kick him in the nuts.
Yeah, the cod piece.
So he's well protected. He makes the challenge, and Marty Scurll says, "All right, at Wrestle Kingdom, we'll make it a fatal 4-way." So we got a 4-way for the IWGP.
Rarity, too, for New Japan.
Well, they've done them in years past, but not
often.
Not recently in the last year or two. With Kushida's kind of been with Kushida being the top star, they've kept it to singles matches. So
it's going to be really exciting to see these 4 in the ring with each other.
Yeah, and interesting to see if they keep it on Scurll. You could go so many different directions with. I mean, Hiromu with him losing it to Kushida earlier in the year, and him kind of being a geek this fall. Coming out and making these challenges and getting knocked down.
Can you imagine Daryl with the mini championship around his waist?
So there's that story. Obviously, the Ospreay story with him losing it to Scurll. Does he defeat Scurll or defeat somebody else in the match to get the title back? And then, of course, the Kushida story with him losing it to Hiromu early last year, having the redemption story through the best.
I feel like he's on the bottom of my totem pole in that match.
I think that's a lot of people's opinions, too, because he's kind of had that long run over a couple of years now.
So he had that redemption this year.
Right. And the Ospreay story is good. The Hiromu story is good as well. And even
Scurll.
Right.
Well, just kind of the Scurll idea, like, I don't know, it was a pleasant surprise. We all had Ospreay pegged, overcoming and keeping the championship.
Everybody was surprised. The funny thing is that look at the track record of Skrull beating Ospreay, but nobody in the world thought Skrull would beat Ospreay. Everybody, because he just won the title, thought he's gonna go. Obviously, he's going into Wrestle Kingdom as the champion. So yeah, it was a surprise.
It just looks like Bullet Club is kind of getting the gold back on him again slowly, and
there's that too.
Let's rock it.
All right. Then we had the IWGP United States Championship match. New heavyweight champion Beretta versus Kenny Omega. This was great.
Wait, you said new heavyweight.
New heavyweight.
You said new heavyweight champion.
Oh, I'm sorry. New heavyweight.
I was like, wait a minute.
Taking on IWGP heavyweight champion Kenny Omega. Very good match. I gave it 4 1/4 stars. Just amazing. Beretta really showing that he belongs in the heavyweight division. Just having a phenomenal match here. They do a suplex on the floor onto a table. The table's not set up. It's laid on the floor, but legs side up. So he suplexes Beretta onto that, and then hits a double stomp through the table, stomps all the way through the
top
table.
Turnbuckle, wasn't? Or apron?
No, he jumps off the apron onto Beretta,
onto the
table, double stomp to Beretta.
So he got
through
some
the
air
table.
on that too.
Yeah, on the floor. Beretta hits a sliding snap German at one point.
That was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like, do that a few more times and sharpen that sword, and you're going to have quite the fucking move on you, man.
Omega counters a pile driver into a backdrop on the apron. Beretta hits a top rope German, a snap pile driver, and then an apron pile driver, and then dives onto the table. So that kind of opening up for some more near falls and more bad stuff for Omega.
The same table.
Right. The Young Bucks end up setting the table up, kind of up against the railing so that it's leaning on the railing, and then ends up diving into it later in the match.
Oh, what a hit too!
Beretta hits his finisher, the Dude Buster, for a very close near fall, and then after that is when Kenny Omega goes into the V triggers, hits the One-Winged Angel after a dramatic crucifix from Beretta. Almost with Beretta also got a very close near fall there. But fun match, and looking forward to seeing what Beretta does going forward.
Yeah.
So.
Good showing. I haven't seen much of them besides obviously Punky Vice, but it'd be interesting to see. I would think I'm going to have to go and find this match myself.
Yeah, there's that. And you can also see a lot of good, and I haven't seen it myself, but I've just heard about how great he has been in like PWG, for instance, working that crazy indie style there. So there's places. We don't mention it enough on here, and I don't currently subscribe to it, but I have in the past. The High Spots Wrestling Network. You can find a lot of PWG on there,
for sure.
And I think they're $8-9 a month or something like that too. That less 10 or less. So if you're looking for Beretta stuff, go on there and check out stuff from PWG. It would be my suggestion. So then, of course, after the match was the Chris Jericho challenge on the Tron.
Well, I liked Omega's promo right after the match, saying, "Welcome to the heavyweights, kid. You put a hell of a fight," and just challenging the whole locker room in Japanese, even like, "Where are you? Come out! Do I have a challenger? No one. There's nothing for me. No one wants to fight me." And that's when Jericho hit.
And that's a very unique thing too, because ever since Kenny has turned heel and become a part of the Bullet Club, he's basically refused to speak Japanese, excuse me. And so him voluntarily speaking Japanese, a lot of Japanese, is a move towards the, quote, babyface side for Kenny Omega. Not that he's not already there a lot. Obviously, with him having these phenomenal matches in New Japan, he's definitely over with the New Japan crowd, but
he doesn't want to give them reasons to love him.
Right. Well, but that's the thing, is he does in this instance. Like, Jericho isn't coming in as the babyface. babyface in this match. He's coming in representing sports entertainment and WWE.
He's doing that Cody Rhodes thing.
That Twitter, exactly, and that's going to play into this too.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, we'll talk about it here in a moment. Well, since we're talking about it now, let's just talk about it now. Cody challenged Kota Ibushi for the Wrestle Kingdom show, so that's going to play into the story too. Obviously, with Kenny Omega wanting to have some closure or have that match, that big time match with Kota Ibushi. That's and I'm just picturing in my head the possible Bullet Club shenanigans that could come into play in this Cody matchup. Because spoiler alert, Cody is the Ring of Honor champion. Yes, he has to defend the title at Final Battle, but this is probably going to be for the Ring of Honor title. At Wrestle Kingdom with this, and in fact, it has been stated if Cody is champion, he will defend the Ring of Honor title. So that's pretty much a spoiler for Final Battle versus Dalton Castle. But what I was getting at here is think about this idea of Chris Jericho and fucking Cody Rhodes teaming up as the evil side of the Bullet Club, say, and taking it to Kota Ibushi, right? Preventing Kota Ibushi from Kota Ibushi should. Any day of the week, any day of the year, any day of his lifetime should defeat handily Cody Rhodes and win the Ring of Honor Championship. And so you factor in Bullet Club shenanigans, that making Kenny Omega upset. We had a moment between Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi backstage after his last title defense. I believe it was the Juice Robinson match, I think.
That was a couple months ago now.
Yeah, so that would have been the
it was after the G1, I think.
But that moment they had backstage. So, and obviously Kenny has talked about it. So there's lots of interesting things to speculate about with Chris Jericho coming into this this thing. But yeah, and obviously, like we were saying, with the Kenny Omega being more likable to the Japanese audience and already being over with the American audience. So lots of fun, interesting stories to talk about. Then, of course, the main event we were just talking about, Kota Ibushi versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. I got to give this one at least 4 stars as well. Mostly for the second half of the match, the later parts of the match. But you can't have that story in the latter half of the match without the beginning of the match. And you could make arguments for 5 stars in this one as well. But the way that they slowly worked the leg in the beginning of the match. And Tanahashi kind of being a bit of a dick again, right? Throwing some closed fists here and there and just being cocky. I love when he does that too. But talk about this Ibushi Tanahashi match. Joe, this was the one match that you got to see.
This is the main event that I got to see. Like you were saying, the beginning of the match, it was slow, it was technical, and I'm just thinking to myself, God, a WWE crowd would be so fucking bored in my mind and just fucking chanting over this, and I'm sitting here yeah, work the fucking leg, yeah, all right, that he's got to do a power bomb, needs that leg to do the power bomb here.
Well, and Ibushi known for his kicks and his strikes and all of that.
Oh yeah, and that what did they call it? What's his kick at the end?
The knee strike, the Kamagoye.
Yeah, what does that mean? I'm sorry, just the way he described it. Going to God?
Yeah, going to God.
Oh, my God, that just made me so happy when I heard that. But like you said, going into the second half of the match, they're beating the shit out of each other. They're slapping each other's faces. What was it? Kota Ibushi fucking missiles Tanahashi into the turnbuckle.
Yeah, the lawn dart. The lawn dart into the turnbuckle.
I think missile sounds cooler.
That's the other thing too. Is this has raised the eyebrow of many talking heads, I should say, on the internet. And I haven't listened to a ton. I try not to listen to a ton of stuff on these shows, so I have my own opinion.
Right.
But there's a lot of talk about dangerous neck bumps, and that was definitely on display not only in this match but the Kenny Omega.
Multiple
Yeah, I definitely fucking cringed the first time he threw him in there, but it was just like, you know how the camera work is. That was a spot, but they definitely did that slow-mo replay. Oh, he took every bit of that turnbuckle.
And then there was the deadlift German after that too, where
Yeah.
he put him right on his neck too. So you can only do that so many times, you know. And so I just wanted to make sure I got that in there. But that being said, just amazing, phenomenal work from these two. The selling from Ibushi in the match, and like you said, Joe, late in the match when they just start getting pissed off and just start going off on each other.
Oh, that was just a straight up pancreas fight going on. Some straight Boss Ruin hits going
the
on.
palm
That was
strikes,
fun.
yeah.
Awesome to see, man.
Fucking
Like,
Ibushi holding Red Shoe's hands so he can just keep kicking him a few
Oh
more
yeah,
times.
he's beating him down in the corner, and the referee's kind of letting it go. He finally gets. I'm sitting there on my couch. Ref, what are you doing? Get in there, break these two up. Finally, the ref gets in there, and Kota Ibushi's like, "Nah, I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy some more while I hold on to you."
yeah, some viciousness we need to see.
So yeah, I like the early viciousness from Tanahashi, bringing out the viciousness
Yeah.
in Ibushi.
He wants that champ.
What do you guys think of the finish here? Tanahashi having the victory, getting the win with a couple of high fly flows after avoiding the Kamigoye. I liked that idea that he managed to avoid the Kamigoye the whole match.
Crossing the arms, too.
Yeah. So he avoided that, hit the first high fly flow to the back. And then hitting the second one to the front as usual. So, but what do you think of Tanahashi retaining here?
Yeah, that's kind of who I had pegged walking out of this one. Yeah, I like it. Keep it on him, and I do like the idea of getting rid of that belt, though. It does look kind of chintzy.
the replica Intercontinental title. Yeah, let's get if they're going to keep that belt or keep that title, let's get a new version of the belt or
Clean it up.
That's what I think. What did you think, Joe?
I mean, I like it, but I also, the way they built up the match and even the commentary, because I was told it was going to be Japanese, but I got English commentary. But
My bad.
the way they told the story, like, it really felt like they were building up Ibushi for the win. Like, and just even the build up at before the match, it just really felt like Tanahashi's training him to be a better champion than he is. He's trying to bring out the best in him.
I
So
like
I
that
really
story.
felt that Ibushi should have won, but I can't be mad at Tanahashi winning. I mean, Tanahashi's quality, honestly. Like, when you think about it, he puts on quality match. He may not always be 5 stars, but he's always going to give everything. So I don't mind him going into Wrestle Kingdom.
I would almost want a rematch between the two at Wrestle Kingdom for the belt, and that's when Ibushi wins the belt from him. Like, just the Ibushi Cody thing, like, besides the Bullet Club drama, it really doesn't make any sense.
No,
like,
I
at
agree.
all.
It
Well,
is
and
odd.
it's just
I'd
it's going to
rather
get the
have-
Adam Cole, Kyle Riley treatment, I think, this year, and they'll just cut him short.
Well, here's the thing. Wrestle Kingdom really is a one, you could argue two, but really a one-match show. Naito and Okada. That's what that show is all about. Yeah, we got Omega and Chris Jericho, and that's a big deal. That's definitely the number 2 story on this show. Other than that, that's really all you need. So you can definitely, and they will. This is how New Japan tells these stories. I mean, Tanahashi right now is 2-1 in these matchups with Kota Ibushi. So Ibushi got his first win at the G1 this year, and obviously Tanahashi wanted to avenge that loss. Did it here in this case. So this is something that they will definitely come back to, hopefully early and often next year, because this was just the first of some amazing matches that we will probably get between those two. So after the match, Tanahashi's out there doing his air guitar celebration, and then up on the video screen we had the Switchblade video, and it was revealed to be Jay White.
Awesome.
So a lot of people speculated that, of course, Jay White would be the Switchblade. Very interesting, him here coming in and challenging Tanahashi in his first big match,
Yeah.
big spot. Obviously, one of the main events of Wrestle Kingdom is going to be the Tanahashi Intercontinental title match. So Jay White being thrust into a big main event right away. What do you guys think?
I like it myself, just because the more and more I've watched Jay White, each match he impresses me just a little bit more.
Definitely.
Like, he's gotten better and better, and just even the Ring of Honor TV matches, he made Punisher Martinez look decent. let's put it.
He's definitely made me
perspective.
more interested in Punishment Martinez. So,
But
yeah.
like, again, with how young he is, I think it's a great spot for him to, earn something. Whether he wins or not, if you put on a good match at Wrestle Kingdom, it leads into more things.
Yeah, it's awesome matchup. I kind of feel like, he would have to. I feel like putting him in this position in such a big match right off the bat, he needs to win the belt from Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom.
Interesting.
Otherwise, he should be the one in a match with the Bushi in my mind, and then I feel like they should be swapped some opponents here.
That's an interesting possibility too. Is Jay White could end up being a transitional champion for Kota Ibushi to come in and win that title, and then Tanahashi comes back at some point. So, that'd be an interesting story.
It's definitely be a good fucking match there, and yeah, he's just he has a bright future ahead of him, and it's awesome to see him kind of coming back in and doing his thing with his own gimmick going on. So good for him.
All right, so signed so far for Wrestle Kingdom. Of course, Tanahashi and Jay White. We were just talking about Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho for the US title. Let's see, the four-way for the Junior Championship, Marty Scurll, the new champion, versus Will Ospreay versus Kushida versus Hiromu Takahashi. The Junior tag match, Yo and Sho Roppongi 3K versus the Young Bucks. Cody versus Kota Ibushi for potentially the Ring of Honor World title. And then the heavyweight match, Okada versus Naito. So that's what we've got so far for Wrestle Kingdom.
Hell of a show to me.
Hell of a show. Obviously, we'll get the tag title match coming out of the World Tag League. We'll get a never open weight 6-man match, quite possibly, and the New Japan Rumble, and then that would be plenty of card for me. That's plenty of.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's already a ton. So. Let's quickly go over the World Tag League teams that we've got here.
Yeah.
So, again, if you're new to New Japan, they do these tournaments throughout the year to determine who's going to face the champions, and this is the heavyweight tag team version of it. We have an A block and a B block, and everybody in the A block faces everybody else in the A block, and then whoever has the most points at the end faces the winner of the B block, and the winner of that match becomes the winner of the World Tag League and goes on to face the champions at Wrestle Kingdom. This starts the same weekend as Survivor Series and NXT TakeOver Houston, the 18th, and it goes damn near every day. All the way.
Are we doing our usual Taco Wins beer?
We are definitely going to do a bracket contest, a predictions contest to see. We'll do a predictions contest, and the loser at the end of it will buy the beer, and we will celebrate here on the podcast.
And if you want to play with us, you play with us on Twitter. Shit, make a whole thing out of it.
Have some fun.
Exactly. Here's the thing: is in past World Tag Leagues past, it has been, like I said, kind of uninteresting, just because you've got singles champs in there that you're not gonna are not going to win. Whereas this time they only have the never openweight champion in there, and you could speculate because he doesn't have a match at Wrestle Kingdom. There's a chance he could win, even though his partner is Azuka. But yeah, so here we got a lot of fun matchups, some guys making their debut for New Japan. So here's the A block. Juice Robinson teaming up with Sami Callihan. A lot of people speculated that Sami might be the Switchblade coming into New Japan, but he's not the Switchblade.
That's awesome. He's in New Japan, though.
Yeah, and teaming up with Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
Two ex-NXT guys teaming up. So a fun story there. Hiroki Goto teaming up with Yoshihashi, so a chaos team there. Hiroyoshi Tenzan, of course, teaming up with his longtime partner Satoshi Kojima, Ten Cozy, the team there. Yuji Nagata, who just had that big main event with Manabu Nakanishi, those two making a team there. Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens a team. Chase Owens looking to take some falls there. Hangman Page teaming up with Yujiro Takahashi. Interesting team there, but I like Hangman coming in here. Hangman just did a good podcast with Colt Cabana, so we got to hear a little bit more from Hangman there. So that was a fun podcast. And then, like I said, Suzuki teaming up with Takashi Iizuka, and then Evil teaming up with Sonata is a fun LIJ team there. Then in the B block, so the B block, or the A block, we've got some interesting matchups, but really the B block is where we got it loaded up with former tag champs and whatnot, and some interesting matchups here too. Togi Makabe teaming up with the returning young lion Henare. He got injured way back in, I believe, February of this year, so him being kind of missing from the this eruption of interesting young lions this year. Hinare making his return, teaming up with Makabe. Michael Elgin teaming up with Jeff Cobb. Matanza from Lucha Underground. It was supposed to be originally Jeff Cobb and Matt Riddle coming in.
Okay.
But a lot of people saying once New Japan got word of Matt Riddle's love for the sweet leaf, that they put the kibosh on it, or maybe Matt Riddle decided that he heard about what happened to Matt Sydal when he got caught with the marijuana in Japan. Japan is definitely behind on the marijuana train.
That's definitely a homie don't over there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's probably that's the big time speculation on why Matt Riddle is not making the trip to Japan, and that's unfortunate because I'd really like to see a guy like him.
There's a
in Japan.
reason why he's not a UFC fighter anymore.
Exactly. That's the problem. So,
and it's like, dude, you can't chill for a month. Like, come the fuck on, man.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. If he can't do it in the UFC, he's not going to be able to make a tour in Japan.
It's just so disappointing because it's just like.
He's his own worst enemy.
It's so
that's going to keep him out of WWE
disrespectful just to the wrestling community. It's like, dude, you can't even chill for a month and fucking go do it. RVD will chill for some time and fucking go do WWE stint for 6 months. It's come on, man.
Although RVD does probably qualify under that part-time rule,
right? Actually, I heard rumblings before that WWE doesn't test for marijuana.
I have heard that they
anymore.
don't. I'm pretty sure that's true, actually, that they don't test for marijuana anymore. But something like that is going to keep WWE from even wanting to sign.
Sure. Yeah, it's one of those things. They're not going to test for it, but don't get busted with it.
I think Triple H has even gone on record saying, yeah, he's a guy who's on our radar, but, he's got some issues. And so, that's something that we want him to mature a little bit more, I think, is along the lines of what he said. So anyway, back to the B block. Mentioned Makabe and Hanare, Jeff Cobb and Michael Elgin. What an awesome tag team that is, by the way. Just two hosses.
Powerhouse.
That team is going to just get Jeff Cobb over big time in Japan. Working that big man strong style.
They love that.
That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. David Finlay teaming up with Katsuya Kitamura, as we talked about earlier. War Machine is in the B block.
Yes!
Ishii teams up with Toru Yano. That's a bit disappointing. Yeah. Ishii.
Hey, Samoa Joe, you want to team up with Ellsworth?
Yeah, exactly. It would have been nice to get Goto teaming up with Ishii or something like that. But yeah, he's got the Yano team up. The best friend.
I don't know. I see some fun moments there.
Yeah, I guess. Here's a fun one. The best friends coming to New Japan. Beretta and Chuck Taylor teaming up.
Shit.
Yep. Then the Gorillas of Destiny are also in the B block, and the current champs, the Killer Elite Squad, Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr. So loaded B block, but some fun matchups in the A block with a guy like Callahan teaming up with Robinson. That's really the most notable.
Just kind of really excited to see Ishii and War Machine in the same ring.
Right, yeah, and obviously we talked about the Elgin and Jeff Cobb factor.
Yeah.
Those two facing War Machine, Killer Elite Squad, Gorillas of Destiny. A lot of fun matchups here. So
fuck yeah.
For an end of the year tournament that has been looked upon as a throwaway tournament the last few years, I'm pumped up for it. I'm excited,
yeah, man.
And do yourself a favor, even if you don't follow or give a fuck about our predictions, fill out your own prediction bracket, because that is a really fun way to keep up with the tournament. Oh, was I right on this? Was I I was wrong on that? It's a really fun way to just keep up with these tournaments and follow along.
Good way to learn names too.
Definitely, yeah. If you are overwhelmed and new to New Japan and you're just like, who the fuck are these people? like just keeping track of stuff like this and making predictions, even if you have no idea who's going to beat who, that's a way to really familiarize yourself quickly.
I do it with every New Japan tournament.
I'm still in the shallow end of this fucking New Japan world, and I'm still fucking learning their names.
Dude, I'm in the fucking kiddie pool.
And again, like I said, it's for a lot of you with these tournament matches going on damn near every day, you're not going to be able to keep up. Most people aren't, but I'm going to do my damnedest to at least have the results, and we're definitely going to talk about all of the results here on the show. So if you're behind, you'll get caught up on all your results here. So
quick segue, because we were mentioning ECE so much. You had tweeted earlier he's going to fight Keith Lee.
Yes,
and
I'm glad you brought that up.
I wanted to know where that was going down.
That is happening. We are recording this on Wednesday. What is it?
The
8th. Yeah, I believe it happens today or tomorrow.
Oh, I forgot the 5th of November. Fuck.
Damn.
What's that?
You have to remember
the 5th of November.
I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway.
Oh, please keep that sound clip.
Yeah, it'll be one to keep. Rev Pro.
Okay.
Yes, Ishii versus Keith Lee. This is going to be appointment watching. It happens, I can't remember the exact date, but yeah, it's today or tomorrow. It's this week. And the Rev Pro usually gets their shows up within a week or so of them airing. I don't believe they air on their streaming service live. I could be wrong there. Maybe they air live, but then it takes a few days for them to edit them and get them up to watch on demand. So hopefully it will be up before we do next week's show, because that's definitely on my radar. Definitely want to watch that. Keith Lee is one of these guys that's just amazing. He's really blown up in the last year.
And that's the funny thing with that. I was so excited. I actually really liked Keith Lee and Shane Taylor in Ring of Honor, and then Lee's like, well, I'm out of here, kind of thing. They split him up. I was like, fuck, that's really disappointing. Everything I've seen from him has just been he's a big motherfucker.
Right. And it's kind of exposed Shane Taylor to be kind of boring.
Yeah, a little bit.
So there's that too. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't have that in my notes, but I definitely wanted to talk about it. And we will definitely, if it has been posted on demand, we'll be talking about it here either next week or the week after, whenever it's available to watch. So that's pretty much all the New Japan stuff I got. So
that's it?
I think so. That's all you have, really. Okay. That's it. So let's kind of get into Ring of Honor TV this week, as I look for my little thing here.
It's in your pants.
Maybe I'll just skip the little thing.
Well, since we're transitioning from New Japan to Ring of Honor, I was telling you earlier that War of the Worlds was going to be on the New Japan Worlds website.
Yes.
November 25th, they're going to release it to America. So if there is those matches you want to check out at the big event that they did, October 25th, I'm counting down.
Do you know, is it that entire tour, or just the Chicago show? I believe it's just the Chicago show that they have up there now.
Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong. I haven't really looked into it, because I'm like, well, we don't get these shows anyway.
Yeah.
So.
No, on their website, it looks like it's going to be mostly the tour. They got October 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Oh, wow.
And the 15th was the big show. So, it looks like it's going to be available October or November 25th. So
Awesome. Well,
fuck yeah.
I definitely want to go back and check out some stuff from there, because I know Kushida challenged Cody for the championship on one of those shows. And
if you are thinking about subscribing to New Japan World, try to do it at the beginning of the month.
But if you do it, it doesn't matter when you subscribe. They charge you the full amount of the month.
Such a silly thing to bring up, but try to save you a few bucks.
Right. 999 yen translate to a little less than $9 or $10 a month. So a fun and very much worth the price of admission there. All right, Ring of Honor TV this week. Not a ton to get into, but there's a couple of little noteworthy things here. Mark Briscoe was supposed to have a TV title match versus Kenny King, but obviously selling the injury, the dislocated elbow. They did show a highlight of that happening from that Global Wars tour on the show. And then he cut a promo on the show talking about, screw that, I want my title shot, I've earned it. He's got a fucking cast on, I earned my title shot, I want it next week. And then Jay Briscoe comes in, he's like, what are you doing, man? We're a tag team. Why are you focusing on that that singles title stuff? And Mark's like, I earned it. I want my title shot. So again, a little tension between these two. I just love Mark Briscoe in a cast demanding his title shot. I thought
because it's believable.
I was gonna say I wouldn't expect anything else from him.
Right. Opening match from Ring of Honor TV: the Dogs versus the Kingdom versus Coast to Coast.
Oh yeah, that's why I turned it off.
This was, I guess, some sort of number one contenders thing. The Kingdom win with the Sassy Murder, a double fireman's carry slam kind of a thing. The Kingdom says it's a conspiracy, that they're not getting their title shots that they deserve, the Ring of Honor 6-man titles and the Ring of Honor tag team titles.
I was watching Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey the other day, and
excellent movie.
They totally fucking Melvined Death, like giving him a wedgie and kicking him over. They need to make that a fucking move.
Yeah, they do.
Well, maybe that's why the finisher's called the Sassy Murder. The Kingdom, like I said, they said it's a conspiracy. Rhett Titus in the match, he tosses Will Ferrara around for offense. I thought that was kind of a unique little. As much as I don't really care about the Dogs, I do kind of like Rhett Titus throwing Will Ferrara around for offense, and then Will Ferrara kind of throwing a fit after the match, like, "What are you doing, throwing me around like that for?" So that was kind of fun. Then we had Cody versus Ryan Nova, a guy who's apparently training in the Ring of Honor dojo. Cody's going around saying basically he's having these open challenges against guys that nobody expects to win against him, and nobody, of course, does. Cody hits the crossroads, but pulls him up on the 2 count so he can put him in the American Deathlock and tap him out.
What a dick move.
But then, of course, before the match, he's teasing, "Oh, who do you want to see me face?" And the crowd goes nuts for Dalton Castle. Cody's like, Dalton Castle's not here. Then after the match, Dalton Castle comes out, and he's wearing these orange aviator sunglasses and a suit coat with little peacock feathers on it, and his Dalton Castle t-shirt, dress pants, and blue dress shoes with no socks, looking dapper as all Dalton Castle can. And he has a bedazzled Dalton Castle microphone,
beautiful,
which is very awesome. He comes out and says, basically, Cody, we're not mad at you. We're just very disappointed in what you're giving us as champion with these geeks that you're defending the title against in these crappy matches. He wants to have the match. And then Cody says, "Look, Dalton, you're great, but you're just not on my level. You know what? Tell you what, let me give Paul a call, and we'll get you a developmental deal." So says, "I'm going to walk by you and let you think about that for a while." He walks by, Dalton thinks about it, beats the shit out of Cody, throws him in the ring, hits him with the bangarang. He grabs the microphone and says, "Yeah, I thought about it, and I think I want to take your title from you at Final Battle." So setting up the match there was a lot of fun. I'm not sure who Paul is. It could be I don't know. Then we had some more highlights from Bully Ray's retirement speech from Chicago, further cementing that. That kind of led into the Lethal promo, or not Lethal, but the Mark Briscoe stuff. But then we had Jay Lethal cutting a promo saying that his focus is going back to the top prize and being the best wrestler in the world. So Jay Lethal looking to get back into the world title picture. So him kind of throwing his name back in that hat as well. Then the main event was War Machine versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the tag team titles. And again, honey dicked again, because here come the Addiction after a long, hard-fought TV match. And again, it's a Ring of Honor TV match, so you know it was taped weeks ago, so you're not really expecting a title win. But here it goes. It's the end of the match, and the War Machine are going into their finishing sequence. And here come the Addiction, throwing streamers into the ring. Christopher Daniels gets in there. He's squirting silly string on everybody, and then everybody kind of thinks the match is over. War Machine throws Christopher Daniels out, but then Chris Sabin rolls up, I believe it was Ray Rowe, and gets the 1, 2, 3 because of the distraction.
War Machine's
there.
gonna be pissed.
So, yeah, War Machine upset and looking to get back in the title picture. So, looking like we might be building up to a 3-way or something maybe for Final Battle, but nothing announced yet, so I guess we'll see. So, that's pretty much the show. Or that's pretty much Ring of Honor.
That's Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor's got some big dates coming up, though, in Florida with Kenny Omega, and I got my whiteboard up over there, but there's glare on it. So what's the Ring of Honor? Ring of Honor,
Survival of the Fittest.
November 12th for the house show with Omega.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, November 11th and 12th in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And then also they're going to be in San Antonio has Kenny Omega on it. That is the 17th? That's the
17th.
That's the night before TakeOver, I believe, or is TakeOver the 17th as well? TakeOver is the 18th.
18th.
And then Survivor Series is the 19th. So the 17th, Kenny Omega is in San Antonio, but he is not in Dallas the following night on the 18th, the same night as TakeOver in Houston. So, but 3 big dates coming up, house shows for Ring of Honor with Kenny Omega on them.
Is TakeOver in Houston? San Antonio.
I think they're calling it TakeOver Houston, but it could be San Antonio.
No, it's TakeOver War Games.
TakeOver War Games.
I've never heard of that place.
So,
is that in Texas?
You're in Texas.
Let's wrap up the show with the Kojima tweet. Now it's time for
The Satoshi Kojima Tweet of the Week.
Good fucking song.
If you want to follow Kojima on Twitter, it's at Cozy_Lariat. And if you don't, just listen to us every week here on Strong Honor and listen to the Kojima tweet of the week. Good morning. It is raining in Tokyo. I am going to work out now. Bread? Of course I will eat it. Gotta get back to my other screen here. There we go. So, yeah, follow this show on Twitter at Strong Honor. Follow me at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. And make sure you check out our other podcast, the best pro wrestling podcast. We talk Raw, we talk SmackDown, we talk NXT. We talk all the big news that's going on over there in WWE as well this week. We'll be talking all of that over there as well. Check out our show on the Fans podcast called Wrestler 3-Wind. This week we're going to be talking about DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. Bang! We select one wrestler and talk about 3 of their matches. Last week, who did we do last week?
Owen Hart.
Owen Hart, of course.
He's a nugget.
So check out those.
Not a nugget.
Check out those ones over on thefanspodcast.com. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Snapchat, Twitter at HGREB Taco.
And you can follow me at Joe BPWP. That's at Joe Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
This has been Strong Honor. Thanks for checking it out, and check it out next week. Bye.
Adios.